And live on the phone right now is the Minister of Conservation, Maggie Barry. Hello, Maggie.
Good morning, Phil.
Good morning. Thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Great pleasure. It's always good to be connected, at least in a virtual sense today with Nelson. It's a wonderful place you live.
Absolutely, albeit a wet one this morning as well.
Well, I experienced plenty of that on the Heafy track.
Yeah.
I did that a couple of weeks ago, and I understand now 6 metres of rain a year falls around that area, and certainly we had our share of liquid sunshine, shall we say, in the 4 days.
Absolutely,
Brilliant.
Absolutely. Very refreshing it was this morning as well. Right, we're here to talk. You're going to tell us all about Nelson Nature. It's a brilliant initiative set up by yourselves. Tell us more about it.
Well, I really commend the Mayor, Rachel Reese, I'd have to say, and the Nelson City Council, because they have a broad, long-term vision for the biodiversity of the region, and that's a really important thing. You know, when you have a political willingness at a local level that extends beyond, the 3-year cycle, that's really to be commended. And this is $6 million committed over 10 years, and Nelson Nature is really focused on protecting and restoring, really, the natural environment of Nelson. And DOC is just delighted to be part of it. You know, the Department of Conservation staff have a lot of expertise in delivering the sort of outcomes that Nelson City wants, and that's around pest and weed control, which really is at the heart of protecting biodiversity, because if we don't kill the things that are killing the things we love, we lose the things we love. Our birds go to extinction. Our endangered native plants go beyond the brink of being able to be saved. So we have to kill the things that are killing them, and this Nelson Nature is very much targeted towards doing that.
So how did this idea first come about? How long ago was it mooted?
The hard-working local MP, Dr. Nick Smith, has been very focused on this for a long time when he was as the Minister of Conservation as well as the local MP. He's been closely involved in the Brook Waimarama Trust and the sanctuary there, and also the Waimea Inlet, which I went down and had a look at last year. And, you know, these community projects that come from the heart of the community have found a real genuine partnership with the Nelson City Council and with the MP Nick Smith. And it's by getting all of those forces together, Phil, that we really make things happen. And it has been something that's been talked about for a long time in Nelson. It's been tried and thought about in a number of other places as well, but by committing the amount of money and putting it together with the expertise that DOC can give, it really will achieve the efficiencies so you get a better bang for your buck, as it were. And in the environmental management for the region, a lot is possible. Nelson's geographic size lends itself perfectly to achieving some of these biodiversity projects. You know, people come to Nelson because of your wonderful sunshine and landscapes, and, you know, its reputation as a centre for ecotourism is something that this Nelson Nature will only enhance. And I think having it so close to where a major area of residency is challenging, because people need to be on side with killing pests. You know, the usual suspects, the rats, the stoats, the possums. These are the things that devastate the trees and make it impossible for birds to survive, and for lizards and other creatures. So the Nelson region has some of the most diverse and ecologically significant environments in New Zealand, and they need protection, otherwise they won't be around. And that's the Dun Mountain Mineral Belt as well as the Waimea Inlet. And with the stuff that's been doing with the Brook Waimarama Sanctuary Trust, which is truly world-class, Nelson is perfectly positioned to be the place to go if you want to see really great, nature at work, if you like, doing what nature intended it to do before the pests arrived.
That sounds exciting. Now,
It is.
you've got a work programme scheduled for this year. What does that include exactly?
Well, I'm not privy to the exact detail of what they're going to be working on immediately. I know that the Department of Conservation and the Council have been identifying the local environmental groups that they're going to be working alongside, because it is really important to harness their skill and enthusiasm. I know there's some work going on with the Waimea Inlet. And when I spoke to the Mayor, Rachel Reese, I was really impressed with her overall knowledge of what it is going to take to get the weeds under control. You know, the pine trees, these wilding trees that have got a bit out of control and need to be brought back into line and, you know, really exterminated actually from being where they are in the wilderness. You know, the definition of a weed, Phil? A plant in the wrong place. So you've got a lot of these conifers, these wilding pines that look good and were good for forestry, but they've got to weigh on us a bit, to put it mildly, and they need to be knocked back. And the Mayor, Rachel Reese, is very aware of that. And, you know, for me as a plant enthusiast for my lifetime, I really want to see our New Zealand native plants that are endangered being protected. And to do that, we have to get rid of the things that are smothering them. You know, the old man's beard, the banana passion fruit vine is a major menace in your part of the world. And there's a great community group called Divine, and they really do deal to these vines. They pull them down and eliminate them, and those are the kind of groups and the work plans that Doc and the Nelson Nature will be working on in these first couple of years.
That's fantastic. Now, Maggie, I'd love to chat a bit longer about this, but time, unfortunately, is against us now. So thanks very much for joining us on the phone there. And if anybody wants to find out all about this initiative, how can they do that? Have you got a website available?
Yes, if they want to go on the DOC website, they can find out right away. So that's www.doc.govt.nz. And the Nelson City Council, I believe, is also putting up a lot of information about their plans around Nelson Nature. So have a look at the website. And if people want to join in on the initiative, you know, I know that people in Nelson are great participants of things. So I'm sure that the Nelson Nature would really welcome their energy and input and support.
Fantastic. Maggie, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Great pleasure. Thanks.